Okay. Then move on with this news that came out of nowhere. And it literally was one day they have a meet, from what I can gather, they have a meeting and said they tell the students and the staff that you have, first I heard it was until August. And then it's the end of June, and now it's tomorrow. You on some try and be morally right or whatever. And I'm not saying that morally right stuff that King was talking about. Right. That's different. I'm not talking about that, because ain't no way you putting women and the kids in front of water hoses and police dogs, and they don't give a damn. Excuse me. I'm a teacher, and if I'm not teaching your children, people have a right to come and say, "Hey, look, man, you're not doing what I need you to do for my child." But you have to be involved too, right? So you can't tell me as a parent that you're involved, that you're not doing my child right. I need y'all to correlate this to what's going on around here as well. You can't tell me I'm not doing your child right if you're not involved in the child's life on all levels. The issue that it is now is blatant in everybody's face. Yeah. It's blatant in everybody's face. So we're not sitting there talking about what can we do for residents. We don't care nothing about the residents.
Never about the residents.
It's never about the residents. And the issue that people are having that I see, and they still won't let me come down to the council meeting. When I'm out of school, I'm just going to go. Be out of school in a couple weeks. I'm just going to come to one. I don't care. Good morning. Dang, you wasn't supposed to catch that. Good morning. Good morning, family. How y'all doing? Thank you all, everybody, for thinking of me. And, keep thinking and praying and sending energy and all of the other stuff that we do. Because, it's going to be tough. But we appreciate you all looking out. We appreciate you all being here, too. Thank you all for showing up today when you didn't have to. And I showed up because my brother would have the TV on, and so he could watch his brother do his thing, and then he critiqued me when it was over with. So today I'm promising y'all and him I'm gonna do all that I can not to cuss, because he fussed at me about cussing the last time that I was on. So, well, are we jumping into it, bro?
However you want to go.
I need in that you all have a better ear and a better eye on what's going on in the world than I do. Somebody please give me, other than imperialistic idealism.
Hold that thought 1 second. Just hold that thought 1 second. Let me get this together, because we kind of freezing it. Let me read. We good now.
Okay, we good. Yeah. Can somebody please give me the real reason that this president made a decision to go head on, go and invade another country and kidnap the leader and his wife? Now, in African countries, they probably would have killed him. And I could be wrong, not about the killing part, because they did that to many leaders. And they had a hand in almost every one of them. And even in the quote unquote bombing of Nigeria, and a horrible excuse of you're protecting Black Christians over there when you don't protect Black Christians here. But it was more of to me, and I could be wrong, a launching point to invade and crush what's going on in Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. Because now that they're rebuilding and restructuring themselves with their resources by themselves without the help of any other foreign people and the other foreign groups that they have over there. They need to look at expelling them as well. That was what, to me, that was for. Not protecting the Christians over there based upon some intelligence that you say that you have that you never share with the public. And we know that Venezuela has oil and it has resources, and so does Nigeria and Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. We know that they have resources.
Mm-hmm.
But how are you going to abduct a president and his wife, and then turn around and hold them hostage by putting them in jail? And if there's anything that we're getting differently, that people are relieved of him being there and they're looking for change to take place in the government or whatever, but yet you say that they have something that you picked them up on charges of selling drugs to this country, but you get your largest supply of fentanyl from China and Iran, I think. Yeah. And then some of the other smaller South American countries supply as well. But you're not going to go and kidnap the premier of China. And you're not going to go and kidnap the premier or the Shah of Iran. And they supply your one of your harshest drugs that you use in medical reasons, and somehow it finds its way on the street. Somehow, if it's it's supposed to be only for medical uses only, and you kidnap this group of people, you kidnap this husband and wife. No, they were violating the civil rights of their citizens or human rights of their citizens, which happens here daily, all the time. But you're not arresting the police officers or the stopping the mayors or kidnapping the mayors and their wives and family because they're allowing that to happen in their cities. So I'm not gonna wait very long, but I'm gonna wait. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna give it about 30 seconds. I wish we had the Jeopardy thing. We could play the Jeopardy song.
I was sitting up here just looking at, because I'm on X right now, so I'm looking at all the people who talk and stuff. I see Piers Morgan. He like the people is happy, and I saw one of the people on there said it's funny that the people that's celebrating is the people that's not in Venezuela. It's the people that's from here. Right. That's the ones that was exiled or something.
Right. And they left Venezuela for whatever their reason.
Yeah.
But what's there to see? Here's what I'm saying. Now, since if their president was that bad, how come we didn't hear about it? That's number one. And number two, how come if you're celebrating it, why are you celebrating it? Or was it because you weren't following? And it may be okay that you don't follow all of the policies of a president. We don't. We never have. This country never has. Okay, from the very inception, when it was a quote unquote colony, you didn't follow the rules and rule of law of the king that sent you over here. So when we talk about revolution, they can't say nothing about African people in America who've been abducted, beaten, all these horrible things happen to us. How in the world are you going to be upset when we want to revolt because we want to be treated with some dignity?
But see, what we seeing is that's why when you seeing some of this stuff, like I said, I've been looking at it. I'm just like, it's nothing new.
Right. No.
I'm looking at the same people who beat it thinking you finna be coming there is looked upon as liberators.
Right.
It's like, it's crazy some of the stuff, but it's just like, this ain't nothing new. All you gotta do is just go study history. They're acting like they forget. We got Iraq. We got Afghanistan. It's just like, and I thought Trump was coming in remember he said he was going to stop wars.
You can't do that. They make too much money off of war.
And that's what I'm saying.
You
You know
know,
what I'm saying? Because you got to understand who kids gonna go fight them wars.
Yeah, and if they die, then those are casualties of war, and then that lessens the population.
Yeah, but and it's crazy that here we go again. It's just like, and basically, you know what it is. It's the resources.
Yeah, but okay. So then that means that if it feels about the resources, how come you couldn't go into negotiation with them? Because the former president, and I see his face, I don't remember his name.
You talking about
Hugo
Chavez?
Chavez, right? But because what his position was all of the black people in the country will give y'all resources, but we ain't giving it to America like that.
Yeah.
We'll help you open up gas stations and you can own them, and then we'll directly supply your gas and oil. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, President Chavez is no longer here.
Remember, they had kidnapped him, but they had to return him back over.
Right.
You know. Good morning, C-Wiz. That's what I'm saying. So you can't say it's drugs. And I agree with you, Chris, because he just let one of the biggest drug dealers out of prison.
Out of prison.
But if you go look, but what's crazy to me is that we went, but people we forgot, what is it, Noriega?
Right, which they put in power. The United States put in power in Panama.
And put him in jail.
And then when you didn't like him, when you was done with him, then you put him in jail. When he started to control his own resources. Mm-hmm. And you no longer, okay, you put me here, but I'm going to do something different. Mm-hmm. And when I did something different, then all of a sudden, now we got a problem with you.
Yeah.
Right, because the Panama Canal was where they shipped. This is my allegations.
Mm-hmm. Allegedly.
My allegations. Okay. Where you supposedly, and maybe not, allow certain illicit materials to come through. Mm-hmm. It's like you buy a dog and you raise the dog and you put the dog in the house and the dog do one thing wrong, and instead of you correcting the behavior, you get rid of the dog. Mm-hmm. Not paying attention to the fact that you didn't come home all weekend, and the dog is hungry and didn't go outside, and because it's your job to let the dog outside, and that didn't happen, and so the dog messed up the house, and and it didn't tear it up, he just messed up a little bit. Mm-hmm. Instead of you saying, "Oh, it's my fault," you just get rid of the dog. Had the dog put down. Mm. It's difficult, and then of course we don't have nobody. What's anybody doing that's supposed to be in Congress or the Senate that'll stop any of this insanity? Now, again, what's the legitimate reason? If you said drugs and you just let a drug dealer out of jail, that's an oxymoron. You can't use that. You can't. Well, he was a drug dealer, and we picked him up, and we put him and his wife in jail, and but we just let out one of the biggest drug dealers, so we're not going to say anything about that. But no, you can't do that. Mm-mm. That's like you picking up little Pee Wee, but yet the Dr. Zhivago in the what's the name is over there selling fentanyl. But Pee Wee got a dime bag. Mm-hmm. He ain't got fentanyl. He ain't talking about killing nobody. He ain't got nothing to kill nobody. Mm-hmm. But Dr. Zhivago got enough stuff over there to kill half the city. And on the back door at night, people meet him at the back door. $300, $400, $500 a pop for a little speck.
Yeah, but it's the resources. Remember? And China was over there doing business. What they did to me, the United States showed their hand like, okay. And then when Trump said, we're going to run Venezuela. I don't, you know what I'm saying? It's like some of the rhetoric that he was saying is like, I don't think that was a good move, but I'm not the president of the United States. I don't run nothing.
But what is it other than resources? Let's take that off the table.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that caused him to think, or what intelligence, because this got to come from somewhere, caused him to think that it was important to go and take the president off from office? Now, what you should, if you're really going to do it, you get rid of him if it's there that bad. How many, they just, in Haiti in 2016, a military coup got rid of the president and his wife. It wasn't no, we're going to kidnap y'all and hold y'all hostage.
Mm-hmm.
But they executed them.
Mm-hmm.
But what are they doing so horrible that you can't use sanctions like you do with everybody else?
Because
now we taking resources off the table now.
Yeah, nah. Why you doing that? Because you have to understand on this aspect, just like with them at Cuba. Cuba too close to the United States. And the United States is not finna let nobody like a Russia or China moving in on their territory. That's how I feel. It's like, just take the resources away. We not finna let you come in, just like Russia is mad at the United States with NATO coming on, able to be on their back, up to their borders.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's like, listen, we ain't finna allow them to come over here and you be this close to us. You can plug. I'm just assuming. I'm gonna say allegedly. It'll be too close. You can probably put little missile battery packs over there. United States don't want none getting close to them.
But okay. So if we look at history, mm-hmm. and we look at what happened with the Bay of Pigs with Khrushchev and Kennedy, mm-hmm. they were Fidel Castro had a relationship with Cuba. Mm-hmm. Cuba was talking about bringing in arms mm-hmm. to Khrushchev was talking about bringing in arms to Cuba because of their relationship.
Right.
That's understood. That's the reason why you get the Bay of Pigs and you get the blockade, you get the, right. No problem. I get that. Right. But what did Venezuela do to you? And if once again, you cannot complain about them having human rights violations of their citizens when you're allowing that to happen here.
They've been a thorn in the they've been a thorn in the side.
Well, how?
Talking back.
You can't talk back.
And not letting us get, and it goes back to the resources. You got to think, Hugo Chavez, remember when he came to the United Nations at the Bush talk, said it smelled like sulfur.
Right.
I remember, and he called him Diablo,
right.
meaning the devil.
Right.
I remember, any people familiar with Charlie Rangel, the congressman from
right.
Harlem, New York?
Right.
Remember, he came back and gave a scathing to Hugo Chavez, like, you're not going to come here in my city and talk about our president. I'm just saying.
Oh.
Yeah, remember, he responded back.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. So they let one of his watchdogs respond back.
Yeah.
But I think that Charles Rangel, the Representative Rangel, made a mistake. Yeah. Because what Chavez was talking about was giving resources
right
to people of color.
Right.
That were here who didn't have resources.
Right. And he was trying to bring gas to Harlem.
Right. He was. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. This is like we're gonna open up several. I think it was like 50 or 60 gas stations, and I wanted to be run by. His. Yeah. We wanted to be run by Black people, and we're gonna give you resources so we can develop something.
Right.
And then shortly after that, he gets sick and goes away.
Yeah.
But
no, he was there for a minute. He ended up catching cancer.
That's what I'm saying.
But remember, they had kidnapped him doing all of that, but they ended up having to get him back.
Yeah.
I mean, they had to return him because they thought the people of Venezuela, just like what you got going on now, they got an opposition leader.
Right.
You see, the opposition leader ain't took control yet.
Right.
So you got to kind of look at that like, hold on. And the next step gonna have to be boots on the ground. Because how you gonna put in your puppet government without boots on the ground?
Right. Because then if you put in a puppet government that sides with you, then you can have access to the resource.
No, you're gonna own them.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like when you seeing what's going on, it's like, did they plan this out all the way?
Well, of course they did. They don't ever think about doing anything without completely planning out every detail and every possibility. You know, they don't. Once again, we're talking about a group of people, though they didn't invent chess, that play chess.
I'm saying, look at Iraq though.
Right.
Look, that's a failed state. Look at because how it's broke up now.
Right.
Look at Libya.
Yeah.
They got slave trade back going on over there allegedly.
But and when Gaddafi was alive, before he was unalived by Obama, free education.
Yep.
Free health care. But you're not doing that to Saudi Arabia, who opposes you as well. Is it and to me, it keeps on looking like if you're what they call a third world nation, and you're doing something like what Gaddafi was talking about, the United States of Africa.
Right.
As a matter of fact, he even gets that idea from Kwame Nkrumah, Jomo Kenyatta, Patrice Lumumba, Thomas Sankara. But they get that idea from Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois. Because Du Bois was important in being able to lay the foundation for Pan-Africanism that takes place because they have several meetings in London where Jomo Kenyatta, Kwame Nkrumah, C.L.R. James, who was a writer, Padmore, I want to make sure I'm right. Padmore could be a little bit before their time. But they take the idea from Du Bois and take it to Africa. So that idea has been growing ever since. And this is talking about the 30s and the 40s. So the only thing Gaddafi was talking about, if your city was pristine, no crime, everybody worked, everybody went to school, everybody had a job, only because you're talking about uniting our countrymen with resources and using our resources to continue that part, Brother Caleb. Reuniting our resources and controlling our resources and not allowing the imperialists to have access to our resources anymore the way that they did before, and building up our infrastructure so that there's some equality in the world, then why would you not? What's your problem? Other than the fact that you no longer have free access to the resources the way that you wanted to have them.
Right. I've just been looking at it because it's like they even said when they brought up the charges, you're going to bring them, then certain words, you're going to feel the extent of the U.S. in their court. So he already know you're not finna get a fair trial.
You ain't getting a fair trial. You ain't gave nobody ever a fair trial. And none of those persons that committed murders and hung people and lynched them and had parties while they were lynching at the lynch parties, none of them have ever been brought to justice, though they may be long dead now.
Do you know it's just to show you the game they play? Do you know they got charges for Israel Prime Minister?
And what are they gonna do with them?
They ain't gonna do nothing. United States wasn't gonna let nobody go grab him. Right. Trump wasn't gonna do that. It's so many different. Like I said, he just pardoned a drug dealer.
Right.
So, but you understand, it's the resources.
Right.
But I can do it.
Yeah, but Israel don't have no resources. We support them. This country supports $20 billion in aid every year. They ain't got to work. Why? Because you get them $20 billion.
And I understand why Ibrahim, I'm saying his name,
Traore.
Traore. Yeah. I understand how he feel the way he feel. They all gotta watch, man. All them countries is not happy with the United States. Even when they bombed, Nigeria?
Nigeria.
And like you said earlier, when you stated, you said saying you because of the Christians. You ain't did that.
No, because you got Christians over here getting killed. You had 9 Christians get killed in church at a church service, and you didn't execute that boy. If it wasn't for somebody beating him up in prison, see, I caught myself, big bro. I almost let it go. If it wasn't for somebody beating him up in prison, that was the only justice. He should have been executed.
Facts.
He ain't done that. Even when Timothy McVeigh in 1993 was accused of the Oklahoma City bombing, it took him years before they executed him. It wasn't like, oh, you did this? Yeah, I did it. Okay, well, you getting ready to go get this today.
Right. It is because they see, to me, man, I can't think of this movie. What is it called? I knew the dude name was Balian. What was it? The Last Kingdom of Heaven, the movie. Have you ever watched that movie, Kingdom of Heaven?
Man, I got to put that down on my list.
Man, go watch that movie about Kingdom of Heaven. You're gonna hear about Saladin. You're gonna see when the French, how they lost it, and then you see when it ends when King Arthur was on his way. It's like when the Crusades. These was part of the Crusades.
What's the name of that movie again?
The Kingdom of Heaven. That was the name of it. When you go watch that, like I tell you, man, I like to.
You be on it, guy.
No, I love history, man. So I love to go back and look, watch it and stuff, everything. But it's and it was like when you seen it, and you seen and it showed how the Muslims they got back to Jerusalem, took it back. When you seen it, good morning, everybody. If I didn't say y'all name, good morning. Thank y'all for tapping in. We was just getting right to it. When you go see it, they had a maverick. So when the king died, because he had leprosy, so when he ended up dying, his sister husband got it, and when it started a war, I'm just telling you when it started a war. So.
Okay.
When you and this to me is like you gonna keep doing it. You gonna keep playing until you get jammed up.
Right.
And that's my humble opinion.
Yeah.
Like you ain't gonna be able to keep playing. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, Trump, y'all can't keep. And it's that maverick. I'm listening to him how they saying, "Oh, Trump ain't the one who play. When he say something, he gonna do it."
But he's out of But I ain't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead. No, I'm listening.
But at what point in time, now, how do we really know, us, the public, how do we know that whatever reports he's getting are true reports, right? How is it that you claim that you went to bombed Nigeria on Christmas Day of all days to help make sure that nothing happened to Christians, but the people there that are saying that you went to go support and destroy the Hamas are saying they don't exist? Who am I going to believe?
Right.
The people there are saying in Nigeria, in that town, are saying that there's no activities by Hamas. But yet, you claim that there are. So that just give you an excuse to soften them up, because then that means you can put the troops over there, and then from there the troops can go up and invade Niger, and then get to Mali and Burkina Faso. And somebody said that there's a lot of Nigerians that go along with it, but you got to remember who they were colonized by too. They're colonized by the British. And the United States is nothing more, regardless of this American revolution and that BS, they're nothing more than an extension of that ideology. That's all they are. How in the world do you sit around there if we no longer kicking it, and that's your mother, that's the one who gave birth to you. But yeah, every time we turn around, who's in the news? When Princess Diana died, oh, we hooping. How are you over here and you crying?
The psyche.
Oh, right. Oh, when the Queen died at 99.9 years old, how are you over here crying about that? Why? The United States gets involved in World War I and World War II because of what happened with Germany and England. Well, World War I was because people were playing both ends of the stick.
Mm-hmm.
And the United States got dragged into that to go and save England. And definitely it wasn't about the Japanese. Because you clearly knew that the Japanese were getting ready to hit you in 1938.
Hold on, I got you. You ready
got
for
something?
it?
Go
Yeah,
on,
I got
shoot
something for you. I got something for you.
Oh,
Let me
here
get
we
this
go.
out of here. You wanted this. We gotta go and put foot. We got what they say, put foot to hiney. Let's go ahead and get this together.
Like, no, man, we are exactly the same. This country is exact, and many people here act just like many people there, colonized. We are not prepared to get rid of that mess. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Can I send that to you?
You've heard of the European Holocaust, but did you know that Germany's Second Reich committed a Holocaust against the Namibian people first? Between 1904 and 1908, Imperial Germany targeted the Herero and Nama peoples in what's now known as Namibia. It began with land theft, cattle seizures, and forced labor, but when Namibian communities resisted, Germany answered with genocide. A German general issued a written extermination order. Men, women, and children were driven into the desert. Water sources were blocked or poisoned. Thousands died from thirst and starvation. Survivors were placed in concentration camps. They were forced to work, they were starved, abused, and experimented on. Human remains were sent to Germany for racial science. By the end, up to 80% of the Herero and half of the Nama population were killed. And here's what makes this history still present. Today, descendants of German settlers own large stretches of Namibian coastal and agricultural land, much of it taken during that period. There have also been documented reports of Nazi symbols being displayed and Hitler gestures being used, showing how little accountability ever followed. This wasn't accidental, it was planned, it was documented, and it was carried out by the Second Reich decades before the Nazis. That legacy didn't vanish. It's still written into the land. And if you didn't know, now you know.
Mm-hmm.
So when we tell you, we ready? We back?
Yeah, we've been back. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So when we tell, so they heard me say she was fine. My fault, y'all. She is fine though.
But it was respectful.
It was very, very much so.
Respectful.
Yeah. Yes. So when we tell you all that during this period that we talk about the Holocaust, there were 6 million so-called Jews murdered.
Mm-hmm.
There were 16 million gypsies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because those gypsies occupy Europe too. Mm-hmm. And 18 million African people in Germany, let alone talking about Namibia. In Namibia, they murdered almost 50 million people. Almost 50 million people. So in total with Germany, and this is the Second Reich, this is before the rise of Hitler. They murdered 50 million people. They still live there, claiming, oh, no different than the Boers in South Africa, who were the Dutch.
And we got to clear one thing up. Thank you, Nuance. She said, don't forget the fact that the U.S. also took Venezuela silver too.
Right,
and there's
a silver mine there.
A global silver shortage right now.
Right. So, yes, you're absolutely right. The media is censored because the media is what? It's owned by one particular group of people who want to give you an agenda.
And did you, did you hear that part when we was at the thing yesterday? About the media? When the guy, I can't think of his name, anybody that was in there. Can y'all tell me the guy's name that was speaking when he was talking about, when he was saying, to me, I'm not saying he was doing this, but this, and I'm not trying to jump, but it was in the sub, what you bringing up. When they were saying the media, because the guy that was in there to do the thing was at yesterday, he was at the talking, he was like, well, we had Walter Cronkite, this and that. I wanted to say this. Walter Cronkite, them didn't speak to our community.
No. No, they
And
didn't.
I think that's where this is where our communities, where it's like, I ain't gonna say our communities. Let me rephrase it. Our races, because some of the rhetoric that I was hearing when they was talking about, it's like people used to be in program, being to get one source to get their information from.
Absolutely.
And they love to get their propaganda information.
That's all it is. That the news is propaganda, right? That's the reason why it was so important that we had newspapers and we published back from the late 1890s up until we no longer had newspapers. Why? Because integration killed all of that. The fact that people were fighting to be part of something that you are never going to be part of. That's like you got a tree growing in your yard, and if you go stand by the tree and touch it, I'm a tree. You're never going to be a tree. That tree is never going to be, it has a job. But if I keep going over there talking to the tree, eventually I'll become a tree. No, you won't.
See, yeah, you're right, Chris.
Okay. Those companies were created and owned, and now in Rupert Murdoch with CNN and all these other people to only give one view. So therefore, when you have people like Joy Reid and Don Lemon and whoever else that were up there, and then you had Frank Robinson or Max, was it Frank or Max Robinson from ABC before he got sick and passed?
And you're right, New One. I thought her.
Oh yeah, well, she better be glad I had to leave, because if she didn't, she would have got it.
Yeah, her and the school board president.
On the other side, Sister Audrey.
Yeah, because they was mad about truth. See, they want you to just remember that. They want you to think about the good stuff they did. They don't want, like when you saying like the school board president talking about, and I'm glad. See, they don't like this for media. They don't want to put it out there saying, oh, yeah, we done spent the most money to build these schools. But what is the kids' reading level coming out?
Man, it doesn't matter whether you listen. Okay, before we go there, I'm going to just say this. If we want our outcomes to change, it requires everybody to be part of it. I'm not blaming parents. Even though you have your children longer than we do. But the institution, and listen, that's the word, the institution that we're sending our children to, their job is to indoctrinate them, not to teach. We've got a particular curriculum where we want them to know these certain things by this time, and it's all we want them to know. And first thing in the morning, after breakfast, the first thing in the morning, we're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance, and then from there, we start our lessons. It got nothing to do with nothing else.
No, you're right, but and they don't want that out there. They want controlled media.
Right.
They want.
And I'm telling you, as a teacher that's in the system, this is what the hell's going on. But here's what else I know. If I say I'm going to go and open my home or find a building or open it up and start a school, I know nobody's going to support it.
I agree with you.
Because I got to eat. Now, that doesn't mean that when I'm in my position, I don't go teach. I do. But I also know that if I say tomorrow, I'm not going in, I'm going to find a building, and then we're going to go and we're going to start a school. Not one and nobody is going to say, we're going to make sure that we get our stuff together and said that we're going to support Brother Elliott and Brother Mick and opening up a school so that we can have our children educated properly.
This for you on the screen.
Who?
I'll just put it up there. It's probably finna pop up now.
Yeah, here it is. Well, I mean, and that's across the board. But this is what I'm saying. At the same time, when your children go to school, the only thing that they should do when they go to school is perform so that they get that. But the actual teaching comes from home.
They do. But how can we send our kids? They be smart before you send them out. Then when they get into the system, they come back out. You like, what didn't happen?
Well, that's because they've been told and shown that it's best to find a way to goof off and play around than it is to go in there and teach and learn. They also have been shown and told that, certain classes don't mean anything, so I can cut up in these classes. I can go play around in these classes because they're not worth anything. Their grade don't mean nothing. So I can go in here and cut up. In gym, I can go play around. I don't care nothing about what you're talking about. The only thing you're going to give me is either passing or not passing. So what do I care? I ain't got to listen to that. If I want to, I'll do it. But not, I ain't got to.
But how did we get to this? It wasn't like that before.
No, it wasn't like that before because what we had before was we had people who were scholared. When you have the rules and laws change, and I'm not talking about disciplining children because that whole corporal punishment thing, certain teachers took it way too far. But the mere threat and duress of now the power is in the hands of the children. Because all parents are not doing their job. I'm going to say that. And all teachers are not doing their job either. And I'm going to say that as well. But what people aren't doing is where we had community schools. That meant that if everybody had a stake in the outcome of what happened with our children. And you also had this dumbing down thing too.
Oh, that's live in effect.
Right. So, and then when you have the school to prison pipeline and you see that if I promise y'all family, I'm telling you what I know. If your son or daughter cannot read by the time they get into 3rd or 4th grade and they're not reading well, then guess what's going to happen?
You headed to.
And I'm telling you. And if people, that's the wound, that wound is not oozing blood, it's bleeding blood. And what people are not paying attention to, yep, okay, brother Caleb, you're right. Did you send him my number?
Let me get that to him right now.
And then you send, brother Caleb, brother Mick's gonna send you my number, and then you text me so I can have yours.
I thought I sent your number. I'm gonna get it right.
Okay. When academic rigor doesn't mean anything.
That was Lumi. I sent your number to.
Yeah. I gotta hit Lumi up. When academic rigor doesn't mean anything. When academic rigor doesn't mean anything. Because we got ourselves out of absolute horrible situations and conditions to where we became a world power economically, but we gave it all away because we want to sit at the dinner table with everybody. And now certain groups of people make 198% of the money, 100% of theirs and 98% of ours. We integrated schools, but if you go to any school in the so-called inner city, you don't see a whole bunch of kids there. You don't see a 50-50 mix. But the other thing that every other group does is they demand academic rigor and academic excellence, and we don't do that. No, the children, why not? If your child can draw, then they can read. And I understand the development. I understand that. Not knocking that, but also, why not? We were doing it before. We were doing it before in way worse conditions. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna let y'all. I'm not debating that. I'm not debating that. I think that, but what I'm saying is when they get to be 17, 18, they still shouldn't be reading at no third grade level, regardless of development. Okay. I'm not saying that I'm not taking that into account. I get that developmentalness and all this other stuff. But how come you're not reading to them while they babies? While they little? You ain't gotta force them to read, just read to them. And I'm not talking about Cat in the Hat and all that other stuff either. I'm talking about really reading things to them.
But they go back down to the household.
Right.
It go back down to the household because every household is different. Like you had some parents, like you had some parents were just parents, like came in there, put foot to honey when they had to. You know what I'm saying? But they expected the mother to make sure the kids was reading.
Well, okay, so now go ahead. When you then as the government, create a war on the black family, then who do you target?
I'm looking. I'm with you, New One. She said it takes time. Also,
no,
the whole family
I get it.
Involved
right, but what I'm saying though, beloved, it's a woman, right?
Yeah.
What I'm saying though, beloved, is this: by the time that child walks across the stage with a cap and gown, they should be able to read and read very well. Now, I get the developmental stuff, and everybody's different, and I get all that other stuff. And some kids got a penchant to take stuff apart because I was one of them, and I used to get in trouble for taking apart mechanical clocks and not putting them back together because there was always a piece left, and I would always throw it away. And that clock was right only twice a day.
At 12.
At 12 and at 12. That's the only time it was right. But at the same time, okay, all right, since you want to take apart these clocks, we're going to go to the Goodwill. We're going to get a clock plugged in, make sure it works, take it apart, put it back together again, leave the rest of the clocks at home alone. We have dropped a ball in listening to other groups of people saying, you can let your child. I am not doing no damn homework in my room by myself. I promise you I'm not. I'm not going to do it. Oh, but you now what we want you all to do is never sit around at the dinner table and do it. We created that. You don't have to sit around the dinner table and make them do their homework anymore. You can let them have a safe, quiet space in their room. You give a kid a safe, quiet space in their room, they're playing video games. They ain't doing no damn homework. The whole point of the exercise when we created the idea of sitting at the dinner table and everybody being taught by the persons who went to school was because the young people who couldn't go to school, and the older people who couldn't go to school because they were older and they were watching young people. Everybody got their learning. Everybody. How do you become one of the most highly intelligent? All of the stuff that we invented, you think that this came by osmosis? People had to study stuff. Some of it wasn't in school, but you still had to study. How in the world are you going to have a clock made out of wood by Benjamin Banneker that still runs? And it ain't no nuclear battery in it. Excuse me, man. It's my nose itching. Somebody want to see me. As old folks say.
For sure.
How in the world are you going to be able to create buildings and chart stars with those buildings? How in the world are you going to be able to stand on a mountaintop and chart stars? How in the world are you going to be able to create a lawnmower and all the other things that we created? Because we created everything without education, even if it's not formal. What I'm saying to you is this, though, to family. When a person gets ready to walk across the stage with a cap and gown, there's absolutely no way they should just still be reading at a third grade level.
Let alone you pass the kid reading at a
third grade level. Passed him. So then what do you send him to? You send him to prison.
Okay, I'm saying what B. Marie said. Okay, let me see. She said, majority of children are still miseducated. I can tell by the books adults encourage them to read.
You better know it. You know it. Absolutely. I agree.
But it's a reason though.
Yeah, because you got to have a population that you
Facts.
still that you keep a population. You have to keep a population that if I formally owned you, I'm gonna find a way to continue to own you.
Yeah, so we gotta be honest. Like we gotta have them conversations. I liked it. The guy that was there, I can't think of the white guy that was there. The one was from Wisconsin. He said, well, he lived in Wisconsin when he's talking about the police.
Right.
But he said the three guys, I think you might have been stepped out at that time.
Stepped out, yeah.
And he was saying the three guys, he said they was officers and they told their sons, you still gonna be profiled. It's just, it's what it is. And they black. And that's what I'm saying. The system gonna set it up, but the American system, it looks at blacks.
It's racial. We gotta stop this dumbass. Sorry, big bro. Stop this notion that this is a racially colorblind play. It is not. It was built on racism. It was built on destroying other people. It was built on taking advantage of other people. There's a document that they wrote in 1832 called Manifest Destiny. The so-called document that so-called gave people freedom is not for you. Go read it. At what point in time do we not take these things in our own hands and say, we're going to do the best that we can with our children, all of them, not my personal children, but everybody.
But I should tell you something. But look at the faces that they do it with now. They got it so gangster. They use people to look like me and you to hurt our communities.
Which is the reason why Burkina Faso said we don't want nobody coming over here from there because we can't trust you.
I understand it.
Right. You sold your own people out. So you definitely not coming over here and then you be the one that sell us out. And you've done that to every group that we've ever had has had somebody in there that sell them out that look like them.
Yeah, no doubt. See, because we study acting. Oh my God. I gotta say this, family. Well, let me mention this to y'all, family. I would have loved to record it for y'all, but I was told I couldn't record.
That's right.
Only if it's speakers coming.
Right.
That I can record the speakers. I'm gonna put I was there ready to record.
Yeah,
but I was so, you know what I'm saying? So I did what they respected. It was no guest speaker, so I couldn't record.
Yeah, no, he there, yeah, because that's what they said even when I walked in.
Yeah. No, when I came, I was like, okay,
right, yeah, because that's their rule.
I get it. No, I get it, but that's why I say more community need to be there because, and don't get me wrong, to me, it's like what we seeing because it was a couple things came up, and I'm gonna say this. Because I don't know, was you there when the mayor, when Tommy, like, to me, she lost her mind there?
No,
on some of the stuff she was saying.
Yeah, I had to.
When she said fires, and this what she said, I wish I could have recorded, then y'all could have heard for themselves. But I understand why they don't want to record it now.
Yeah, because we was, hopefully it wasn't because we came in there and we was on their heads the last time we was there.
Oh, no, B. Marie said you could have logged in on Zoom. Because she made an allegation, she said allegedly, that the fires are being started because people, because they thinking they get that house towed down if a fire being started there. I'm like, so you really gonna come out here with an assumption and gonna say allegedly? First, you had the fire chief saying it was homeless people was burning the houses up. Now you got Tommy to work for the mayor.
The other lady that sat on the corner in the first row in front of us, right?
Yeah, and gonna say, then she was so really, to me, she was out of it. Because it was a resident family from the first ward. This is how I know they don't really want to, you know what I'm saying? They listen, I get it, but it's no, and I'm gonna tell you, and this from my observation, when you hear our cries that you was hearing that what blacks was saying, to me, it was like the whites was like, well, you go do this and that. Who can we really want to go do this and that too? And that's what I think I want the whites to understand. Because I was listening to you go call up David Layton. They were saying this, who can go get this done?
Right.
And I want people to really see this. I mean, you need to go there for you can see some of these things. Because when it came up about Leon residency. Man, listen, it was like
that came up yesterday.
Oh hell yeah, the dude that was sitting in front of us,
yeah, with the whiskers.
And he was at the first table, light skinned. Remember, he said he the one built a tiny house. That you might
Okay,
want
so he was over there by.
Yeah, he was a resident. Yeah, he was sitting at the first table. In facts, B. Marie, Tommy was out passing out popcorn, campaigning for the mayor, and that was there. So, but when you're hearing this stuff about what I got from our leadership is shook in the city of Flint. Because when they was bringing up residency, you know, Tommy brought up about Eric Mays riding down the street with 4 flats and gonna say proven to innocent. I never seen nobody like, and she said she keep it real. And they was mad about the media.
Why would you bring that up and he no longer here?
I didn't understand it.
See, I had to leave, so you know I would have jumped all over the top of that. And I apologize for having to leave because we had taken care of my brother's final rites, so I had to go.
But you missed some. It was. I know you would have cut up.
You already know I would have cut up.
I know you would respond to it because it was like when the resident said this, they was like, "You don't know that." It was like shooting it down. And when it got brought up about the neighborhood engagement situation, that really didn't get fully explained like it should have been explained. They really brushed over that. And I get it because the neighborhood engagement do things. You know what I'm saying? I understand it's about funding, but this go back to your leadership. Even they talk about getting out there and vote. I remember the one guy said, well, only like 10%. They love this 10% that's only voting because you got to neatly that way. Right. If really the city got out there and vote, we wouldn't get some of these secondhand council people that we've been getting.
Well, that's the point of the exercise as we're moving into building an organization. So, but I'm not asking for everybody. I'm only looking for a few people, like for real.
Yeah.
Because everybody else is just going to be, not understanding what the whole point and purpose and agenda is.
Oh, I'm glad you knew you recognized, because I think you weren't there yet when Leon residency came up in the mayor office.
Why would you have that come up in this meeting though?
Oh, resident asked it because they wanted to know, because they was like, they didn't see, and it brought up about that the money for the neighborhood engagement, because he like all this money that the first ward councilman got. He said, I stay in the first ward. I don't see the work that's being done. So where did the resources go to?
And so she stepped up. And she became the watchdog to step up.
Yeah.
And say something about it. Mm-hmm. And you shouldn't have opened your mouth because you don't know.
Listen, some of them people, even with Davina, if I didn't have no work did, because I would, like I said, this, and y'all see, I'm in here talking with a tight mouth. If I didn't have no work did, I wanted to go back and respond. But I was in pain. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to say something like about y'all talking about the media, so y'all don't want the truth to get out there. Like, that was a resident from the first ward. He got the right to know, like, if this person wasn't living here, how is he voting for us? How is he representing us? And they shut that down.
And that was a tiny house guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A resident from the first ward.
So their next meeting is the first
February the 7th.
February 7th. Okay. Mm-hmm. We'll be there. And I want somebody to say something stupid because I'll be in a little bit better spot. Oh boy.
And you forgot about the school board want to get into the tiny houses for homeless kids?
Right. Okay. Let me address that because I said something to you about that. We get it. Mm-hmm. You're getting ready to build almost $100 million school. Mm-hmm. There are spaces that you know of that you want to build tiny houses for students who are having issues with being homeless. Mm-hmm. What about the rest of the family? Since you're a community school, mm-hmm. Why not work at eradicating that problem? Mm-hmm. And having all the family, if you're going to build, let's say, 100 tiny homes, because you get 100 students that may be homeless. Mm-hmm. Put the whole family in there, not just the student. And then your job as a community school is to help assist and educate them so that they can get jobs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they can take care of their families and no longer be in need of your assistance.
Mm-hmm.
And then the charter schools thing that somebody mentioned, that needs to go.
Mm-hmm.
Because no charter school does anything any different other than get paid. And I'm telling you what I know because I work for them.
Mm.
And it's about whoever started the whole charters, we got a charter school. But now, if I wanted to start a charter school and say it had a particular ideology, guess what? Nope, we're not supporting that. Just like I said earlier, if I wanted to start a school tomorrow, nobody's going to turn around and say, man, we can get you $300,000-$400,000 of donations. We just start a school and you can get people in there and you can get a small building, get 40, 50 students, 100 students or whatever, and some teachers, and y'all get paid. And y'all, nobody going to do that.
You know why, don't you?
Yeah, well, because we don't support our own.
And not just
we can't sit around and talk about everybody else and supporting their stuff, and we don't support our own stuff.
But see, it goes back to that Willie Lynch letter. This system not gonna let you uproot it.
No, hell no.
It's not. It's gonna fight back because it's gonna tell your people you can't trust him. I mean, just let's look at it. I'm not saying I'm the biggest fan of Dr. Umar Johnson. Let me say this, but I do like the brother was trying to do something. But what did we do? We got on here, he ain't gonna build a school, but you know what we was praising? Because Charlemagne the God got a $200 million contract to bring podcasts on there.
On his show?
No, he got a deal through iHeartRadio and is it Netflix? They gave him $200 million. But if you look at some of the shows he bringing on,
trash.
It ain't like it's good. And I ain't mad at him, but it's like, it's not good. It's not helping our community.
Right.
Even with the entertainers that they
like,
putting
though.
out. Yeah. But, facts.
But that's what that's as long as we can use whatever propaganda to continue to show the group of people we formerly owned in this particular light. Those are the show. How many viewers we got today? We got 22 people watching.
27. 27? Yeah, because I got the other screen.
You got the other screen.
We got
so we got 47 people all in total?
Yeah.
Okay. How come we ain't got 500? How come we ain't got 1,000? How come we ain't got 2,000? I know some people might be in church. And I'm not, that's cool. But I think one Tuesday, when we did a Conspiracy Tuesday, Jalen Rose also has money, bro. Jalen Rose, and I'm not, knocking what he's doing, whatever. But he got people that he had access to got money to do at school. I've been doing teaching for 30 years, and I still got to prove something to people. And I'm not saying, oh, y'all should just, I'm not begging nobody to do nothing, but that's what I'm talking about. He got help. He has help. You don't have a better idea because he's just doing a business school, which is wonderful. But is the agenda of the school, because some of my brothers down there just helped them to do a food giveaway, right around Thanksgiving-ish, I believe. But why you got to do a food giveaway? If you got all of these young people that go to your school and you're in the community, don't you teach them some other skills too, so that you don't have to do food giveaways? Because all that stuff is really stuff that the stores didn't sell that they give to the food bank.
And Pookie the Monster, thank you for tapping in. Go ahead with your question. We'll read it.
Yeah, please. What?
Oh, man, it's just, one of them people.
Put them on, bro. I don't care because I'm for it today.
Yeah, it wasn't none.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't
and hopefully y'all will stop, whoever y'all want to have this other ideology is, y'all want to come on with some other ideology without ever having anything to document it and back it up. So you can come on if you want to, but I'm going to tell you to go do your research. Well, the Muslim schools, there was a couple over here on Home Street, and I was willing to work with a couple of them because they didn't have licensing, and I did. Okay, so what I told them was, you can put me in charge of the school, and then I could be the quote unquote teacher, and you can still teach your doctrine, which I don't care. But then you have somebody that could do all the administrative idea, but because I didn't go to the mosque, that was the issue. And that's the reason why they eventually closed down. But now what they do demand from those students is academic rigor. All I'm saying is this: whether a child's going to have a penchant to read if you put the materials in front of them, and if they're curious enough, and if they have a model, seeing them read.
But why you think they putting the filth out like they doing? Like you said, we don't want to,
because we love it too.
Yeah, and they want to put dumb you down.
Yeah, we do it too. We love watching that stuff. We don't like watching it. We don't watch it for entertainment and we put hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of watching fucking stupid stuff.
Yeah, and that's what it is. I was looking at, because they don't want the truth. See, and there's no what's now. I'm being honest, because when I was listening to the guy when he was talking about, we could, like I said, he was talking about, it's only 6 people. We got it to 6 people who own media. But then when he want to come and say we need to go back to radio with Walter Concrete, see what they not telling you, the reason podcast is birthed is the same way that the newspaper was birthed.
Yeah.
The Chicago Defender. You know what I'm saying? The Final, all these different newspapers. You know why you had to have a black newspaper? Because they was not going to tell the truth. Nope. See, this is what I get mad at, when they want to act like that, like before, when it was just media 124 hours. No, we getting to see the BS that's going down, and y'all getting to see it. And to me, it's like they don't want to. They don't want. They didn't want that out. What happened to Trayvon?
Right.
No. They didn't want that out. Far as what happened. What's the white? George Floyd.
Right.
They didn't want what happened to my man in New York. They got choked out. They didn't want being told how that police officer went to my man's apartment and killed him. See, them the stories they don't want out. What they doing bad. The stories they want out is when we fucking up.
Yeah, but
excuse my friends.
There we go.
Yeah. See, that's the stuff they want. They want to show us in the worst light. Just like
that's the propaganda. Reason why the birth of a nation was important in 1915 is because what you can do is you can plant in the mind of a white America, because you even showed this at the White House. You can plant in the mind of white America, even though you was in blackface, that this is what these people are and this is what they do. And then even in the 70s with the blaxploitation, that wasn't empowering. That was a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
Because Pam Grier don't become famous unless she naked.
See, no one even said it. I know you know about this. She said we used to get the Pittsburgh Courier.
That's right.
On North Street when I was a kid. We had real black media.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. See, they don't want to admit what it is. They feel like they losing control of the narrative.
And see, now we have a couple of papers here. The Courier is typical, but that's a religious paper. They're talking about, when I finished the newsletter, putting my newsletter in there. They're talking about that because it's going to be controversial, because it's not going to be religious based. It's going to be fact based about what's going on in our community. They don't want to hear that, because that might mean that some of your churches that are not doing what you're supposed to be doing for your people, not just the people in your walls, but the people in the community.
And they don't want that type of message out there. And this one, you get these so-called Timu Boule,
right? That's
running around Flint, that's going along with the BS because they getting they little trinkets.
Yeah.
They go along with it. Even just think about it. Because was you in there when Sister Muhammad was talking about the police thing? That's when the white guy brought that up. And then you sitting up there, why is we in 2025 still having a conversation about police brutality? But you know what didn't get brought up at the meeting? The water not fixed. You know what else ain't get brought up at the meeting? What about how the police was just unlawful down there at city council, how they was just snatching people up? Why that didn't get brought up?
But is that really the forum for where we want to have these discussions? especially if you're talking about
improving Flint.
Improving, right. So, so then moving forward, then on February 7th, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, we getting ready to get done because there's a list of stuff that we, what you just said, that we're gonna bring them up.
Yeah, and it gotta be, and you right. But like I said, why the person wasn't there? The mayor was there to deflect for the neighborhood engagement hub. About that, the Tommy was there to deflect on that. No, it should have been there because there's a lot of stuff. Even like I said, when Tommy mayor, send somebody else than Tommy. Now I know you got people, but your people you sending there is making your administration already look more foolish than it already is. Like, you got to do better. This got to be done. Even with this, like that residency thing, and I'm gonna say this about Davina. I want to say this. I'm speaking to you, Karma. Karma wasn't there the last time, but she was there yesterday. But before, Davina called and said, "This is Karma." She lied to the people. She's still doing that same thing when she called in and said about them 5 slips. Davina ain't kept her word because you know who she worked for? She's not independent.
No, of course not.
She's not independent. She working for them council people and the mayor.
Yeah.
From the direction from the mayor. This is craziness. And then these are the people they sit in front of us and be like, oh, they don't represent black people, man.
No.
Let's stop that right now. They don't represent black people.
And that's the issue is you represent a voice that has a disconnect to the community.
And you're right, B. Marie. I swear on everything. I will be out bringing up them subjects next time.
Yo, that's what. Yep, we just said that.
No, you're right.
Yep.
Because it just shows to me where like a lot of this where it's at. It messes my mind up.
But is that so? Let me ask this question: Is that the forum that we should bring those up in?
I think it should be because there's a lot of them nonprofits is there.
So then from there is we're gonna force. We should. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, no, it should be because it says community, right?
Right.
It's neighborhood engagement.
Right.
I mean, you want to get feedback from the community, not just getting feedback from people who can benefit from it.
Yeah, because everybody there got something that they can benefit from.
Right.
You got the Sasquatch, whatever they do.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of their trucks, and then you got these other organizations there. No, I didn't read the agenda. I do have one at home though. And you have all of these other companies there, or corporations there, or incorporated people there that want to have something to do with whatever they want to have something to do with. Is that it?
Oh, hold on. Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Okay,
1 second, B. Marie. You talk about this right here. This the agenda, if I'm not mistaken.
From yesterday?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I brought mine with me. I brought all my papers back.
Yeah, see, I got mine, but I left them at home.
I brought mine back.
Yeah,
I read it. I mean, I read it when it was Now I read the agenda. It said Flint Neighborhood United. That's what it is. FNU, my bad. Flint Neighborhoods United, a coalition of neighborhood groups and residents who come together on the first Saturday of each month to share information, leverage their resources to create positive change in the greater Flint community. So
that's their mission statement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's the agenda that was on the. Yeah, okay. That's what I'm saying. That's why I was feeling like, some of the stuff that should be brought up.
Okay.
And thank you, B. I kept saying neighborhood engagement. That's on me. My bad, families, neighborhoods united. And it's open floor, so you can talk when you want to
about certain things.
Okay, but I do feel like it needs to be more engagement from the residents for they can get to see what's going on. Because I want them people to understand, but they can see like this is how residents feel they've been getting mistreated. Right. Even because I like I said, I should I was hurting, but I'll be ready on the next one. Never get no dental work before you got to show up. But to talk about, let me see. Let me see. What is happening with the cash disturbance? Some of them never lived in Flint. I made calls to Lee Kosenberg and Napoli Skolik. I have no idea what's going on with that, beloved. Now, it was open floor, but it's to me like you do these things got to get brought up because people would think like everything is kosher what's going on.
What I heard on the Zoom part before I left was just people giving introductions. So they spent more than an hour because we were there at 9:30.
Mm-hmm.
They spent more than an hour with just introductions before it got to that part. And I think that like we hear, and I'm not being disrespectful, y'all, but we got an hour, hour and a half, whatever. Hey, good morning. How y'all doing? We on. And then, we'll, period after that. But we spent time speaking to everybody and say good morning, by the time we got finished, it'll be 10 o'clock and I'm tired of talking. But for real, you all, I think with shows like the shows that come on this particular platform are trying to give you the greatest, most honest assessment of things we possibly can. Because I'm not interested in looking at it the same way everybody else does, because we look at it, I'm trying to look at everything as in a historical standpoint. So for you to go over there and kidnap this president, and you really don't have, and his wife, and you don't have a real precedent for the reason why you're doing it, because Venezuelans, what have they done to you? What would it matter?
You can't talk back to us. What we say you got to do.
And see, and I understand that, but at the same time, you kill people and had your hands in killing people for that. How in the world are you going to go and save black Christians when you want to save black Christians here? I said it before, saying it again.
Because you know what it is. It wasn't over to kill them. It's about resources. See, right. I think we caught up, but see, this is where it's going to get kind of crazy at. What if China said they want Taiwan now?
Then what you gonna say?
You can't say nothing.
What, or instead of just having North Korea, they want North and South Korea. What you gonna say?
Yeah, like you can't say about Russia with Ukraine now.
Right? No, so lead that fight. Right
now, you just gave Israel straight. They can say, "Oh, we taking this."
Right.
See what you doing? You doing some stuff where you gonna lead it to a. Why did we have World War II?
The same, because Britain got involved in it. And you gave resources to Japan, and Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, but you knew about it 3 years before it happened?
You allowed it to happen before you can get in there.
Well, no, you allowed it to happen because guess what we came out of? We're coming out of a depression, economic depression. So war is always money. War is always money, and war is always sometimes about taking resources. So Africa became very important during World War I and World War II.
Mm-hmm.
It was cut up. I know this because if you listening, we told you it was cut up by the Council of the Berlin Conference of 1884 and 1885. That's where they carved it up, and they went in there and drew lines based upon resources and basically was sitting at the table. Now, how in the world, if you were just fighting with England a few years before that, the Gauls and Malamutes, then y'all turn around, sit at the table, and decide to carve up Africa.
Resources.
The resources.
Who can try? Just think about it. Why they was mad.
Well, that's one of the reasons why B. Marie that I got an idea in my head that I need to sketch out, because we need to have people that are informed to be able to come to meetings, to be able to talk to their council persons, and not feel some sort of way, and not feel that it's business as usual with them. So I've got the idea in my head. I gave Uncle Mick the name of it. I just got to make sure it doesn't sound like because back in the day, and they still probably have them, the way you gave the names of certain groups, it would sound like a white supremacist group. That's not what this is. So I got to be careful that it doesn't sound like a white supremacist group, but a group that sounds like it's there to inform people, right? So I'm gonna give it a name. I'm gonna get a name. Go ahead, big bro.
And I gotta give you this. I can't think of the fella name that said these people need to go back to learn how to be council people. I agree with him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he said they don't. He's basically he gave a scathing report card to the council, and I see they won't change, but do they really won't change?
Who won't change?
The people that was talking junk yesterday. Do y'all really want change? Because let's be honest, we know how Neely got up in there. He only needed 20% of the black vote.
Right. So this is what I need y'all to do real quick, because we got a couple more minutes, and then I got to go finish taking care of my brother's business. I'm gonna give his name, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I want y'all to tell me whether you like it or not, and whether it sounds like it's something other than what it is intended to be. The name of this idea is called the Citizens Council for Rights and Social Justice. All right. Tell me what you think about that. And if it's good, give us a thumbs up. If it sounds like a white supremacist group, then I'm gonna change it. Okay. No, but and it's not about being people doing public service, big bro. It's about people being informed.
Yeah. No, I would never be Maria. I wasn't saying we discredit. No, I think it's a good thing. I just think more people need to come there. I think it's a good,
Yeah.
I think a lot of stuff could be moved in the right direction, but I do feel like it needs to be more people from, you know what I'm saying? More people need, just like in voting, all the residents need to vote.
All right. Brother Chris said it's too long. New one says, does she like it? I wish you and your family well. Thank you. I appreciate that, B. Marie. So I got 1 and 1. Come on, y'all. We ain't holding voting up for too long.
You know what you can do? Put a 1 in the chat if you wanted, 2 if you want them to change it.
There we go. There we go.
Just put a 1 in the chat if you want them to keep that. Put a 2 if you want them to change it. We got enough time. We got the Tuesday till y'all figure it out.
Yep. Okay, so we got a 2. Chris said it's too long.
That's all you do. Put a 1 yes and 2 if you want them to change it.
Yeah. Yeah, but we got to do something. Oh, Chris said change it. So it's 2-1 so far. Mm-hmm. All right, there we go.
There we go. They coming on in.
Yeah, no, we got to, people have to be informed. People can no longer be apathetic.
Yeah.
You know, we have to, whatever it is in order to shake them up, man. I don't care. It doesn't matter. That's the reason why we're here. Yeah. That's the reason why we're here. And I promise by Tuesday, the newsletter will be ready. I just have been in not the best space. So the newsletter will be ready. And it's still going to have the name that Sister Yogi gave it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It look like the ones winning. They like it.
Yeah, Chris talking about it's too long, but we're just going to give you the Citizens Council. That sounds like it's white supremacist, though, Chris. I can't do that. That sounds like a white supremacist group in like Tennessee or Kentucky.
For sure that.
Now, Miss Sheila, you're supposed to give a 1 or 2, baby.
But it still counts.
But it still counts. We'll count it. Thank you, sweetheart. Okay, there we go.
And one's win.
And one's gonna win. All right. We appreciate that, though. Chris, hit me, but text me real quick if he sent you my number, bro.
Sent it, yep.
Yeah, sent it and text me your number. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yep, y'all keep, praying for us and yeah, this is tough. It's tough. But through our prayers and discipline and grace, we'll and leaning on y'all, because I'm leaning on y'all. There's gonna be times you might see me break, but we gonna break, but we ain't gonna bend. And we gonna bend a little bit, but we ain't gonna just break and be gone.
Bend but don't break, beloved.
Yeah, that whatever that is. Well, yeah, you got it right. Bend, break. We're gonna be like Gumby when they used to make Gumby back in the
For sure.
All right, family.
See y'all. I'll see y'all about 7 with Just a Thought.
Yeah, man. I'll be watching. For sure. Okay. Thank y'all, man. We love y'all.
And peace.